mark
I left it in the car, so
Okay.
I killed it.
Sorry. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do, I've got an LC splice-on connector that we're gonna put on. The LC Legrand tip that I have, it gives you the boot, it gives you the connector. The connector is pre-spliced or pre-cut and everything, so that's prepared. All I'm gonna do is set that into the tray. That's ready to go. The first thing to do to prepare the fiber, I'm gonna go ahead, we wanna put the boot on. So I'm gonna slide the boot onto the connector here. The next thing we have is your heat shrink tube. I'm gonna go ahead and slide that on as well.
They're identical, they're identical.
So now the heat shrink
the
tube, the
name.
connector, that's on, that's ready to
So a
go.
lot of guys go with the
Now,
other one.
the old method, right, I could
So you
take
have
and
option
strip
of
back the
both.
fiber. The cutters come with the fusion splicer as well. The newer way of doing it, which we provide in the kit as well, is using the thermal stripper.
It's too much.
So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put it into my fiber holder, leave that same about an inch, inch and a quarter. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set it into the cleaver,
And listen,
and that's
you do what you
magnetic,
want.
right? I want it to almost be
LeBron is
touching the end.
12.
So instead of me stripping the jacket off and then stripping the cladding material, that gel-like material, I'm gonna do it all in one shot. So I'll go ahead and close the lid. You're gonna wait for it to beep, and the green button's gonna blink. That tells it it's ready to go. Now I'm gonna go ahead, pull it apart,
That's what I've seen.
and now that's stripped off the clad material and the jacket itself in one shot. I'm gonna do now, give it a clean. Notice I'm not handling raw fiber at all, right? I could just handle the holder. We'll go put it into the cleaver.
Oh, this is a cutter.
Yep, that's your cutter.
Cutter.
Yep, so now that is cleaved to the perfect length. We'll go ahead and set that into the tray. I'm gonna close the lid. Now, I have pauses turned on, but everything would be
I
automated.
saw other machines where it doesn't stay in the holder. The holder keeps it in place. You don't have to line it up.
I don't have to line it up.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So this is that first pause that we turned on. You're looking at 2 cameras, right? This has 6 motors in it. 4 of them are working to align the fiber up, down, left, and right to align it perfectly. The other 2 motors are for 2 autofocusing cameras. So you have like a top view and a bottom view, so you can just make sure you're happy with your cleave. This is that pause that I have on right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit set to tell it to go ahead and fuse together. You're gonna get your splice loss value of 0.01, right? That is virtually nothing, and if I plug that into an OTDR, I probably will not see it, right? So from here, go ahead and open it up. I'm gonna pick it up, and I wanna drop my heat shrink tube straight down, and it's gonna cover that little blue tip there. So now that's gonna protect my fiber. The heat shrink tube also has a little metal piece in it to keep it rigid, so the splice won't move. We'll go
Well,
ahead
if
and
you bend that splice, it'll break.
There's no strain relief or anything on this?
Well, that
There's
grabs
a-
the fiber and
There's a heat
holds it.
sink. The heat sink
It
is.
holds it, so, but that, if that piece of steel's not in there and you bend that fiber a little bit, it snaps.
Yes.
yeah.
Jeff can demonstrate it, go over the garbage and pull it.
And it'll actually break on either side of the splice. The splice is actually stronger
Yeah.
than the fiber
I
on either
understand.
side.
Yeah, I understand.
While this is in the oven, right, it's got a count on the screen that you could see it counting down, but you could also have your next splice prepared and
Oh, yeah.
drop it into place, so you're not waiting for
Not
doing
waste
one
more
at a
time.
right? So that is prepared and
You'll see it,
finished.
you'll see it.
I
It's
can
all
drop it into
so
a little
simple.
cooling
You
tray in the
cut
back just
the
to
ends,
give it a
leave
second.
it, put it in the machine,
what we're
do
gonna
both
do
sides,
here,
and the machine
to
brings
finish it
together
off,
and fuses it.
I'll pick it up and I'm gonna drop the boot down
Cut on the connector, and then he'll cut this one.
just to finish off your splice there.
And this is like a push-in boost, or just like is a thread on it, or just like.
It's just push it in, yep, you'll feel, it's got a retention ratio on it, yep. If I had to pull it back, I can, you know. But otherwise, that's
And
an
this is
LC
this is
connector.
the LC connector.
That would be an
LC connector,
yeah.
that's what everyone's using. You,
That's what
I
we-
have guys doing SC and ST, they like, Transit is still doing ST,
Now some we do the ST too.
because they're
AT&T.
used to it.
So
We do AT&T before with ST.
the Splice-on ST connector works exactly the same as you doing an LC. If you're doing a Sam Charlie connector, there's just one extra step, and that's putting that finished casing over the top to where it actually
And
connects in.
this one fiber do both 65 and multi-mode and single mode.
Yes, sir.
We have literature on it too,
Yeah.
if you want it on the table.
Right in front.
So, like I said, these guys are right in Fort Lee, New Jersey, so it's all local, all service maintenance calibrations.